Hello, Beak Squad family. David Burns with you. I've got one of the most packed-filled, plum-filled up videos today that you're going to really learn a lot from. Stay with me through the entirety of this video. We're going to wrestle with the hive to try to get it not to swarm, and it's going to be the hive that has that wonderful queen in it that we want to raise other queens from. And so we've got to work really hard to make sure they don't swarm. So I'm just going to go in there first and get the queen out of there and put her over into a 5-frame nuke box. I know they're going to swarm because they are jam-packed. If it all works out, I'm going to take you through the process of cutting out the swarm cells. That'd be really fun. Hopefully, we'll get to open up one of the cells, the queen cells, and watch a virgin queen walk right out. I think they're going to be timed out just that ripe. That's going to be fun. And I hope that we'll maybe even see some virgin queens walking around with their mom in there. That'd be fun. So we got a lot to do, and we're fixing to get in there. And stay with me for the whole video. We're gonna, if we find the swarm cells and they're not really ripe, I'm gonna put them over into the incubator. So if you're wondering about how to raise queens in an incubator, chicken egg incubator, I'll do that if we find some cells. Got a lot to do today. Stay with me. We're going to have a ball. Let's get to work. I'm going to take some queen excluder material because I can't work this hive yet, and probably until a few more hours. And they could possibly swarm while I'm waiting for it to warm up, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some queen excluder material on the entrance here, and I've got this idea that maybe if I can put this on there and they do kind of get the idea that they want to swarm before I get in there and look for queen cells, this will hold them back. Okay, I have the queen. So let's go ahead and put her in the cage. Thanks for watching. I consider it a great honor that you're watching my YouTube video right now. I really do. Thanks so much. And if you want to see more videos like this one, be sure and click on subscribe. Doesn't cost anything, just a way that you can be notified each time I make a video if you click on the bell. Also, hey, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of this video. Let's get back into this hive. Now, should we decide to keep her in there, let's get a few young attendants like this one right here. This attendant is feeding some bees, some larvae, so probably the right age to feed the queen. Way down in there. Oh yeah. See if we can grab her. Okay, I grabbed her. I'm gonna put her in there head first. And I'm gonna prod her to go on in there. That's plenty. We're gonna put this cork back in here. Okay, so what we have now, as you can see here, is the queen. And what we got, 3 attendants in there, 4 maybe. All right, let's see what we have. This is fun stuff. Woo! How you doing today, everybody? Hope you're doing good. Yep, I'm doing great. Sherry and I have had just a pretty good start off to the spring. We had a great package bee pickup day. We met so many of our viewers who came and bought packages from us. That was great meeting you guys. It was a windy day, but the rain held off, so we were able to stay dry. So really good to see so many of you. So many of you that were buying packages from us were telling me you watch our live stream. Now, I appreciate that. I like to smoke my hive about every frame or two, a little bit more in the beginning, just to keep calming them down as I go. And be sure and puff your smoker when you're done like this a few times to keep it going. Sometimes we get mesmerized by how awesome it is to work bees that all at once we forgot all about our smoker. And then all at once the bees get a little bit cranky and we need our smoker, and unfortunately we let it go out. All right, we got a bunch of stuff on the bottom. It's either drones or queen cells. So we're going to look at all of that stuff starting right now. Oh wow, beautiful queen cell. Capped over. So capped over and ripe. Dang. So I'll show you at least, that was a queen cell. Killed it pulling it out. But so I got 2 queen cells. One is here and one is there. They're capped over and they have a red, kind of a worn tip, which means they're ready to emerge any second. We're going to move this frame over to our split box. Ooh, almost waited a day too late. This is the day that this hive would swarm. Keeping with what bees do, we should find a lot more swarm cells. These swarm cells are good queens. I mean, these are queens from my breeder queen, so I can certainly use them. I'll put them in breeder boxes, put them in nuke boxes. Okay, more swarm cells over here. Let's see. Got a nice swarm cell right here. Make sure the cap's not open. Closed, closed, but boy, they're ready to open. And then let's move it over there to the split. One of the things that you really learn to understand is weather patterns. And so I know after it's been kind of cold and rainy, cool and rainy in the spring, and all at once it's a nice beautiful day, the bees seem like they just know how to get ready to swarm on that day. Another queen cell over here. Usually when these queen cells are appear to be worn off at the bottom, the caps are kind of worn off. That's a pretty good indication, another queen cell here, pretty good indication that the queens are ready to emerge. We have one queen cell that's open, so it's likely the queen is in here or on a mating flight. The queen cups in here are staggering, the numbers. And that's going to be a lot of work for me today. Wow. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So you can see the one queen cell in the middle, it's cut open and the queen is out. Look at all the queen cells at the bottom. And there's swarm cells right over here as well. Look at that. So it looks like we got our queen out in time, got her caged, but just in the nick of time. It was a miracle. So what we need to do now is decide if there's more queen cells down here and how we can harvest them and take advantage of all the swarm cells. Okay, so since we've made our split, we've got 4 frames out. We need 1 more. And so we got 5 frames that we're going to leave out here. And so we're going to put some frames in its place here. So let's get those ready. We'll use some frames of undrawn foundation, let them go to work to build a little bit. That will prevent another swarm. Perhaps after they do raise these queens in about, I don't know, probably get those queens going in close to 15-20 days. They're ready to emerge now. That way we can get some of the bees working on undrawn foundation. Well, we're going to leave the super on, so let's not worry about resources. That'll be fine. We're going to have plenty of resources, so let's get some space here where we can drop some frames down in the box here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 4 frames. I don't want to put it against the wall because that's going to be the last one they'll draw. So let's put one they've already drawn to the wall. We don't have to checkerboard it. There we go. Put these 2 in here. Alrighty, that's great. Put that in there like that. Take the space out so they're all even. Perfect. Let's get our hive tool now and make sure that everything is pushed toward the center. Give everything over here a push this direction. Let's get the bees out of the way. Give everything here a push that direction. And that will kind of take up any slack, that gaps that may be in the frames here in the center. All right, good. The bees have got a lot of work to do. They're not going to swarm. They're raising a queen. Okay, so we have our basically 3 frames here. We have a frame with 2 queen cells on it for our split. We got bees over here. Plenty of bees, some brood in some various stages. And we have this frame of honey, as you can see here. That's a good frame to give them some resources in case we get into a rainy week or something. They'll have some resources. And then we'll put 1 more frame right here. That'll give us the 10 we need in our split. Now you may be wondering why I didn't put the queen in here. Is because I moved my queen over to a mating nuke. In other words, I'm going to I got her in a 5-frame mating nook just to keep her secure over there, and I can graft easily off of the eggs that she lays on those 5 frames. Now we're ready for our super to go back on top here. And this hive is all ready for a great year. We're going to add our honey supers on here today as well, a little bit later today. See if they can raise us some honey. I don't normally use queen excluders, but I'm telling you, it's kind of easy when you already have a honey super drawn out and you know they're going to work stuff above it. So I would never use a honey super if I had undrawn foundation. That'd be fine. What we're going to be doing today is taking a look at the swarm cells, and we know we left 2 in the parent colony because we moved our queen out to a mating nook yard where I'm going to be raising queens off of her. So what we want to look at today is attempting to harvest, roll the sleeves up, attempting to harvest the swarm cells. Now it'll also be fun to count how many swarm cells that we saw or that we have. Now we know we have 2 over there that we left, and we have this whatever number we're going to harvest here. And so we would like to leave 2 over here for insurance sake in case one of the queens, if we only had 1 queen cell and 1 fails, we're in trouble. So let's go ahead and see what we got over here. All right, I just moved this box under the shade tree where I can work it a little more easier than over there by the hive or something. And this split has not been placed in their final destination yet. This is kind of like they will be going there as soon as we kind of harvest out their swarm cells. Here's the honey frame that we put over here for food. No swarm cells on that. Here's our first frame that has swarm cells on it. We'll want to take a look and see what numbers they have. This has resource on it too. It's pretty heavy. Okay, so what we'll be noticing is, let's see, put it right there. Swarm cells here, capped over, ready to emerge any moment. That's 1, 2, none above the center line, or the bottom line, I guess. And if you look right here, you can see there's another one here, but it's been opened up. Let me get that close so you can see how it's opened up. Is it open because it emerged? Is it open because they're feeding it about to close it? Good question. I believe it has a larvae. I'm going to take it out in the sun and look, but that's the only way to tell the difference, students, is that if you look at it and you see a larvae in there, then you know they haven't capped it over yet. It's like day 6, day 7 days old. But if you see a purple-eyed pupae, it may have gotten torn open, or if it's empty, that means the queen has gone. But since it doesn't really have the door on it that a lot of empty cells look like after the queen emerges, I'm saying it's not capped over yet. Let me get it in the sun where I can see better. Yeah, it definitely has a larvae in there. Okay, so that would be a good one to leave for the hive. They can continue to feed it and we can harvest the other ones. Now, let me show you the difference. Here's one that indeed the queen has emerged. See what I'm talking about here? The actual door has been opened up there, the little cap, and there's nothing in there. The virgin queen is out. She's either out over here or she's out over there. And they'll tear that down, but there's nothing in there. The queen has left the building, and the same is true with the next queen cell right here. A queen has opened that little door up and she's gone. So 1, 2, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 swarm cells right there that are almost ready to emerge. One that's a little bit later. Raise that one later. So we can harvest, since what we'll have to do is look carefully for a virgin queen. Could be out on a mating flight. But we can harvest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of this frame. All right, so let's just take a look at the frame. See, the virgin queens are a mite bit harder to see. and it would be a great day for her to be on a mating flight. If she took a mating flight from this box, she would fly back probably over there, because that's what she has probably already orientated herself to. I'm just looking for a virgin queen. They look just like a mated queen, only sometimes most of us that raise queens can tell the difference. They're just not as plump in the abdomen area, I don't think, as a mated queen is. I really don't see one on this side, a virgin queen. Let's look at the other side here. Oh, well, there's queen cells over here up high. Now this is kind of deceiving. A lot of people think swarm cells are always going to be on the bottom, but look at that, 2 swarm cells high up on the frame. They didn't read the book. We have to look at other places. So now we have 7 swarm cells just on this frame, and they have not been killed by the virgin queens that have already emerged. We don't see them being, but they could be. I mean, they could have stabbed them, but it doesn't really appear to be torn open much. Don't really see an activity of a virgin queen walking around like you normally would see her pretty active on the frame there. And I'm not seeing that. But let's just set this frame over here. And we're not going to be in... We have to be careful. We're not going to hurt the queens because they look pretty mature in those cells. So by turning it sideways, we should be fine. Let's look at the next frame. Let's get our smoker. So yeah, this is fun. We get to look for the queen, a virgin queen. And we get to look for swarm cells. We got 7 on that one. 7 and 2 are out. 7, 8, 9. So a total of 9 swarm cells were on that frame. Wow. Okay, here we are on this frame. Again, we're looking for virgin queens, and we're looking for swarm cells. Got to be a swarm cell under here. No. That one is empty. Nothing there. Probably a drone. But here's one here that is not emerged, but will emerge any day. Let's just let our finger kind of guide us through, see if we can find any more. Nope, I only see 1 queen cell there. We're going to harvest that. Isn't that beautiful? Take a look at that up close. Wow. All right, let's see what it looks like on the other side. Any swarm cells or a virgin queen. It'd be fun for you guys to see a virgin queen, because you'd be like, oh, that's what a virgin queen looks like. And you would be like, okay, they pretty much look like a mated queen, only maybe a tad smaller. Don't see one over there. Let's go ahead and harvest while we have this out. So in order to harvest a swarm cell, let me show you how I do it. I always like to say I don't own the market on bee knowledge. This is just the way I do it, and there's a lot of ways to do it. So don't think that I'm trying to tell you this is the only way to do it. But I have this little block of wood that I fashioned. I used to sell these. People really love to buy those. And it's made to hold frames up like this. So you just set your frame right there, and you don't really kill bees because you're allowing the... I used to just lay the frame flat on, the other side, and it would be, all the bees would be kind of smashed. But anyway, so here is our queen cell here, and we want to take our time now and just begin harvesting it. So you can see the bees are still kind of working it. It is a pupae, so I'm sure they're, taking care of it. But again, I can tell the age of it is, it's really mature. So we can harvest that without damaging it. Now, I take my X-Acto or utility knife, and what I want to do is cut it away at the top. I don't want to open up the queen cell, and I just want to cut it from where it hangs from the comb. And if you want to get the smoke going and get the bees kind of away from it a little bit, that would help you gain access to it a little more. You can do this in the hive, but it's a little tougher when all the bees are flying around and in your way. Now we might tear it open, and if we do, we will simply pinch it back together. But you can see here, this is a perfect extraction. The cup is perfect. There's no gaps at the top exposing the queen. If we hold it up to the sunlight, we might be able to see if she's moving. Let me see if I can see. I can't really tell. It's still pretty thick, but that's a good queen cell that we've harvested. We'll see how many we can harvest. So let's keep them in the shade, or just lay them somewhere where you don't smash them. If you harvest them too early and you turn them sideways, it can be bad for them. It can injure them. So, but we're pretty safe now. Okay, so this frame, we didn't see a virgin queen on it. See how we're just taking our time, enjoying being out here with our bees. Oh, we see a virgin queen. We took our time, and there's our virgin queen. Do I need to point her out to you? She's right here, but you can just see her walking around. Be a good time to put a white mark on her. I'm going to go get my white pen and come back and mark that virgin queen. Her abdomen appears smaller to me. It can stretch out once she gets more, when she's mated. Also, it's more a predominant kind of a flat point to it at where it joins the thorax. I can identify that more of a hump there. Okay. So I'm going to put this frame aside. She'll stay on it unless she flies and gets mated. But meanwhile, I'm going to go get a marking pen and mark her. All right, I got my marking pen. Now, did our virgin queen go anywhere? Did you guys keep an eye on her for me? I got to find her. Oh, there she is in the middle. Boy, she is walking around like a virgin queen. If you've ever tried to catch a virgin queen, boy, they are tough to catch too. I'll tell you that. Because they are flighty and runny. That's all it is to it. But we'll do our best. So let's try to see what we can do here. I want to catch her with my right hand. Kind of grab her like that. But if I miss, she's going to probably either fly or run. Yeah, I missed. See how her wings kind of just spread out? She gets runny. Well, I got her though. All right, so here's our virgin queen. Got her. We're going to put a white mark. Some of you want me to show you how I handle queens, and I hope the camera's in focused right here. But what I like to do is take the queen by her wings, and hopefully she won't sting me, but I'll put her on my fingertip where I can see her two back legs, the back two legs, and if I can get them close together, I can just do that. Now I'm holding her by her back two legs on one side, and now I can just simply take the white paint and dab it on her thorax like that. Boy, that would be easy to see her, wouldn't it? Even if she's not mated, it's okay. I've marked virgin queens before, and they go out on mating flights and come back just fine. So once you get her marked like that, I kind of like let her dry. And then I want to sort of let the paint dry. And once I do, then I want to go ahead and grab the back part of her wings again, if I can. I don't like touching her abdomen. Okay, so now I'm just going to set her back on the frame. And she's walking around. Let me bring her into the camera. A lot easier to see her. She might be a little ticked off that we did that, but whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is look for any other virgin queens that we see. Well, you get an idea of what a virgin queen... This is great. This would be like a whole video. Hey, everybody, you want to see what a virgin queen looks like? Have you never seen a virgin queen? Are you able to tell the difference between a virgin queen and a mated queen? Take a look and see. You can actually tell that most of the bees are ignoring her. They're treating her just like a bee, because she just doesn't have the queen mandibular pheromone power that a mated queen does. And so she just kind of blends in. They ignore her. Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit of an idea there, but not like a mated queen. mated queen would have that beautiful retinue. They'd all be licking her. You might say, well, they're climbing on her, but look, they're climbing on other worker bees. Worker bees are on top of worker bees. They're not treating her any different. She's just sitting in there resting. Now see her moving around there? Other bees are doing the same thing she's doing. All right, well, enough of that. I'm not seeing any other virgin queens walking around, but that's a possibility. We had 2 cells that were open, so there is another one somewhere, right? All right, let's isolate her over here on our little bench. Put her right here. She can walk around over there while we look at one more frame. We only have one more to look at. Yeah, you know, the queen that we marked, she's actually the daughter of our breeder queen. So she's a great queen. She just needs to get mated. Could she have already taken a mating flight? Yeah, possible. Maybe. Kind of don't think so. A little hard to tell. She could have just got back, you know, today. They pulled the mating sign out. We didn't notice it, but yeah, she could be mated. But she's definitely not been back very long. So we're looking for virgin queens, swarm cells. We think there's one other virgin queen walking around. I don't hear any piping noise. That may be a sign that she's mated. You'd think you'd hear piping noises. Here's a queen cell that's ripe and ready for the taking. Ooh, I said ooh because this door is ready to open. And dang, that's just like ready. All right, so let's, it's a little tricky because I got a bunch on the other side. I don't want to hurt those. So I'm going to see, let me see if I can manipulate my hive like this. If I can move this frame over here, and maybe this one too, I can set my device here. Then, without damaging the queen cells on the lower part of the frame, will it stay there? Okay, so let's take out our smoker and get some of the bees off of the queen cell there. Swarm cell on the bottom of a frame. In order to extract it out, we're going to try to ride with our knife right along the edge as much as we can on both sides. Going to try to loosen it at the top. Ooh, we have queen cells on the other side that are open. I'm just looking and see 2 that are open on the other side. We got a lot of virgin queens around here somewhere. All right, well, we got that pretty much open. I want to make sure, looks like it's a little weak on the back side where it was used by, I think it was just like maybe opened a little bit. So we need to find a little bit of wax somewhere, maybe from right here. Let me grab this. So along the back side, it's kind of open. So it'd be nice without trying to smash it if we could just put a little thin coat of covering. So what I do is I take my finger like this with a little wax and I keep smashing it and get it warm and working it until it gets really thin. I know it's crazy, isn't it? Some people I know pick up, oh, I dropped it. Some people I know pick up injured animals on the road and try to nurse them back to health. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this queen not to die in a cup that I harvested. So I just take a little wax, get it thinned out. My hands are too sticky. I can't smash it on there heavily or I'll smash the cup. But I'll just kind of work it on there like the bees would. And see, I'm just sealing off any area there that might be exposed until the queen emerges. Again, she could be ready to emerge, so this might be fruitless trying to, okay, that's good. So let's see if I can see through there. Now I can't really tell. All right, let's put that next to that one. We have 2 that we've harvested. No more. Now let's look for virgin queens because I see a lot of queen cells over here. I see Whoa, about lost it. Here's one that's been opened. The door's been opened. Here's one that's been opened. So now we have 3, I think, 4 maybe, 3 or 4 cells. I'll tear those off now. See how that little door opened? The queen just kind of chews her way through and gets out. That'd be the bottom of the queen. And I'll show you this one too. Got out to the side. Now, when they get out through the side, I kind of think that's a sign that maybe she might have been killed. It doesn't look like a kind of like more of a chewed open from the side to me than the end of it. That's kind of like what I'm thinking on that one, but I don't know for sure. All right. We were looking for virgin queens on this side. Let's take a look here. If I find a virgin queen, then I can grab her before she fights with the other virgin queen and put her in her own mating nook, let her go out and get mated. It's a little more time consuming to do this. A lot of people don't have time, but this is just something I enjoy doing. I don't really see any virgin queens much walking around over here. You know, sometimes people see drones and they think drones are queens. Let me show you, like, here's a drone here. Let me grab him real quick. You know, that's not a queen. This is a drone. Put him on my hand, let him walk around. But, you know, they're bigger than workers. And so some people confuse that with the queen. Throw him back in the pile. Get back in the pile. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything much to look at here. We can flip it, look at the other side, and deal with the queen cells on that other side. Let's take a look. But one of the things I'm thinking about doing with you guys, that's not going to stay, is it? Is I really do want to open this cell up, this back again. And then I want to mark the queen, if she's old enough, not awake yet, and put her back in the cell. Isn't that crazy? Wow, that'd be great. Sorry. All right, that'll stay there. And let's smoke them a little bit. Yeah, it could fall off. I don't think it's gonna fall off. I'm looking for virgin queens walking around over here. I'm not seeing any. So this queen cell here, it looks aged pretty well, like it might be ready to emerge, but not like I see in some queen cells. So I'm not exactly positive of its age. And so I might want to get an older one that has a bald end to it. If they have a bald end, well, then I know they're ready to be emerge any day now. Okay, that was a good harvest because nothing was opened up when I cut that off. So we have 3 that we've harvested now. Let's put this frame back in and let's get one of the queen cells that has more of a bald tip to it because I know they're ready to come out. I think what did we say, 2 or 3 that emerged? I think that's either a queen is emerging now. Oh no, the worker was working on it. Yeah, see that middle one? Oh, there's 2 there. Trap door open there. Call it a trap door. And that door open. That door is open. So there's 3 queens that have emerged there. Let's see what this one looks like here. Hard to tell if it's ready to emerge. Let's look for virgin queens on this frame. Oh, there's those 2 up there, right? Yeah. So this frame still has 1, 2, 3, 4 swarm cells on it. Well, it's a good time to harvest these swarm cells because with that virgin queen walking around, she's just going to tear them down, kill them, and then the bees would tear it down. So, a good time to harvest them out of there. I'm going to cut them a little bit high up on the comb. See if I can keep them together as one, maybe. I've actually made several videos of this kind of work in the past. For those of you that have binged watched my videos, you've seen me harvest these swarm cells like this before. Yeah. There's 2 there. It's hard to tell how old they are. But we got those. And let's put them down there in the pile with the rest of them. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 harvested. And I think, oh, she is coming out. Okay, so let me see if I can get this. My tripod broke. That's when I'm trying to hold my queen in there. Shoot. And my camera's tripod is just broken. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna try to hold my tripod with my knee. Hopefully it's a good angle. Nope, get away, I'm dealing with this myself. So I'm gonna try to catch her as she comes out. She's working her way out. I'm gonna force her into my fingertips and grab her by a leg or a wing or something. Let me open the door. All right, the door is open. Queen's coming out pretty soon. Queen's coming out pretty soon. Well, let me see. I'm going to adjust my camera. Are you getting this? I can't really look at my camera. That's unfortunate. But all right, here she comes. Let's see. She's a little nervous. Maybe she's stuck. Look at that. Oh boy. So I'm going to try to grab her. Yeah, I know. All right, I did it. I got her back 2 legs. Now, ask me how I did that. I really don't know. I've just handled virgin queens so long. I'm going to get a better grip on her by trying to get her back legs like I showed you in the other clip. All right, now, got her back 2 legs. Well, there, we got her. She came out of that cell. Right here is her home, and I got her in my hands, and now I've got her in a marking position. Now I just find my marking pen and try to mark her with my left hand. Not a lot of paint. That's good enough. I'm actually going to go put her in a queen cage. There she goes. So she's in the cage. You see her walking around. And now we just put a cap on the end of it, and we have her. The virgin queen was captured as she emerged. All right, so we think that this cell next to this one is the queen's ready to emerge. So what we're going to do is just pick at the door a little bit here. We're not going to hurt the queen. She's not down here. Look at that. We tore it open. And I see little antennae. Look at that. Do you see that? All right. I've got to go get another queen cage. I don't think I've gotten one on me. Let me check. Oh boy. She's coming out fast, isn't she? Okay. Let me run and get a queen cage. I'll be right back. You guys watch her and don't let her out. So if we wanted to sell, and once these get mated and laying good, you can actually make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 4 is about 280 bucks right there. Almost $300 in my hand. And I really didn't do anything except cut them out. That's pretty cool. Catch them. And let's make sure the queen is not up around the top anywhere. A virgin queen can be anywhere, so we have to watch for that. Don't see her. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the top on. One last look for the virgin queen. Nope. Alright, so this hive now is ready to be placed somewhere as a split. I've got just a place. I'm going to put it out the back by my layings hive and my keepers hive. You can watch just for a minute and watch them come out and see how they behave, see if they do a little flying around. Yep, that's orientation flight. See how they're looking at the front of the hive, measuring it, going to side. Now, I'll be the first to admit beekeeping has its ups and downs, pros and cons, good and bad, pretty and ugly. It does. It can make you money, it can make you lose money. Let's be honest, that's just the way beekeeping is. Kind of up to the individual. But you might think, like I do, that beekeeping is just a hoot. It's fun, I love it, I enjoy it. I've been stung so many times this year, but I still love it. And if you're thinking about getting started in beekeeping, I've got just a video for you. How to start beekeeping. Made the video a few years back, but how to start is still the same. Check it out over here, guys. See you over there.